Hello, and welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name's Professor Noki, and you're watching Noki Jr. Today, I would like to bring you yet another discussion of my favorite aspects of the Pokemon world. This time for the Pokémon Leagues. When most fans hear this term, it is very easy to immediately associate it with only the Elite Four members and designated champion from a given region. However, the role that the league plays has been shown to encompass a lot more than that. The leagues from each region are responsible for licensing trainers, approving and managing Pokemon gyms and their leaders, and probably most importantly, they are tasked with dictating the official rules and regulations regarding Pokemon battles and etiquette. Although gym leaders, among a plethora of other characters like Nurse Joy, are technically a part of any given Pokemon League, for the purposes of this discussion, I would like to focus solely on those Elite Four members and the champion, leaving the rest for a future video. Very much like I presented in the Pokemon Professors video that I did, if you have not had the opportunity to check that out, I strongly urge you to do so. I will be outlining the areas of each league that I genuinely appreciate and am intrigued by, while also including some of the areas that are not necessarily my favorite about them as well. To those of you who have been following Pokemon from the very beginning like I have, watching the anime, playing the games, maybe even reading the Adventures manga, you are most likely aware that there are more than just the 7, soon to be 8, Pokemon Leagues that we see in the games. In today's discussion, I will be excluding these side leagues, as they don't ultimately play a vital role in most people's Pokemon adventures. And aside from the Orange League, never really even stuck with me as being all too important. And finally, I'd also like to clarify that I will not be listing these in order from my least favorite to most favorite, but rather the order from oldest to most recent. First up, for the Indigo League in the Kanto region, located on the Indigo Plateau. This is definitely the league that most people are familiar with, being the very first experience many had on their initial journeys through the Pokemon world. Interestingly, this is the only league that is not named for the region by which it is in, which has always made me curious as to whether there was originally a plan to give each league its own unique name, maybe based upon colors or flowers. The Indigo League consists of Lorelei, who specializes in Ice-type Pokemon, Bruno, the hardened expert of Fighting-type Pokemon, the Ghost-type member Agatha, who has some strange history with Professor Oak, Lance, the Dragon-type Pokemon Master, and the champion of the league, who is your rival, being Blue in the original games, Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow, or Trace in the updated games of Let's Go. I have always greatly appreciated the challenge that this first generation Pokemon League presented, as they use types that are actually very difficult to overcome given the limited selection of Pokemon that are available to choose from for your party. Secondly, for the Johto League, also located on the Indigo Plateau between Kanto and Johto. As the Generation 2 games were originally supposed to be the end to the series, and considering the close proximity between the two regions, it is actually very easy to see why they decided to have them share an Elite Four. For this iteration, however, they did end up making a few changes to switch things up a bit. The biggest change, and one that would continue for each league thereafter, with the exception of Generation 7, would be the designation of a specific individual as the champion to battle after the completion of the Elite Four. In these Generation 2 games, this was probably done due to the fact that your rival, Silver, was not ultimately intending to become the Pokemon League champion, and did not take on the Elite Four in the game. The league also shuffled up some of its Elite Four members, consisting of Will, a Psychic-type trainer, Koga, the former Poison-type gym leader from Fuchsia City in Kanto, Bruno, making his return from the Indigo League, Karen, utilizing the then-new Dark-type Pokemon, and for the champion of this league was the Dragon-type master himself, Lance, who in these games was actually given an arc as part of the storyline. The Johto League has always been one of my favorite leagues for the way that it took and updated the league before it, as well as presenting new challenges to me when I was a young trainer. Onward now to the Hoenn League, which is located in Evergrande City on a remote island in the Hoenn region. This would be the last league that was situated on a specifically named location until the eventual release of the Generation 7 games. As the Hoenn region has always been one of my absolute favorites, if not my actual favorite, tied a little bit with the Sinnoh region, this league holds a very special place in my heart and nostalgia from my childhood. I thoroughly enjoy the colorful variety of trainers that were chosen to represent the Elite Four, and the champion is hands down my favorite of any game. This league consists of Sydney, the second Dark-type Elite Four member to be introduced, Phoebe, a Ghost-type girl who could easily pass as hailing from the Alola region, maybe she's friends with Acerola, Glacia, as her name obviously alludes to, the Ice-type trainer, Drake, another whose name echoes his choice for Dragon-type Pokemon in battle, and for the champion Steven, who utilizes Steel-type Pokemon, and much like Lance before him, was interwoven into the storylines of Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and their updated versions. It was his role in this story that ultimately made him my absolute favorite champion, as he simply just acts as I would expect somebody in his position to do so. He takes his responsibilities as champion very seriously, and passes along timeless wisdom for us to use along our journey in the Hoenn region. Next up to the Sinnoh League, which is the very first league where none of its members use more than one of the same species of Pokemon in battle. Although the Sinnoh region and the games it was featured in are among my absolute favorites, in my opinion, the Elite Four members were a little too forgettable. That's not to say I have a real specific problem with any of them individually, though their characters and the experience of battling them never really stood out as a memorable challenge. Even the champion, who has a pretty interesting story arc herself and a definite edgy mystique about her, still seemed a little underdeveloped when it came to taking her on in battle. These Elite Four members did consist of some very firsts for the Pokemon League. Aaron, who was the very first Bug-type trainer to be given an official Pokemon League position. Bertha, utilizing Ground-type Pokemon, another first in the league. Flint, whose name calls to the Fire-type Pokemon he uses, another first. Lucian as a Psychic-type trainer. And even the champion Cynthia, who decides to use a variety of different Pokemon types in battle. Although it isn't my absolute favorite, I can still definitely appreciate that the developers took the time to try to switch things up a bit with the formula of how the Pokemon League plays out, giving other Pokemon types a time to shine in the light of the Elite Four. For the 5th generation is the Unova League, which was only slightly disappointing to me when compared to the amazing gym leaders and champion from the same region. It almost seems like they put so much extra time into these other characters and the way they play into the storyline that they kind of just glossed over giving the Elite Four members their own individual characteristics as well. Most of them, with the exception of the creepy but somehow likable Grimsley, are just way too forgettable, and really don't even present much of a challenge when taking them on in battle. This was, however, the very first Pokemon League that we were given the opportunity to take on the Elite Four in any given order that we choose. This league consists of Chantal, the Ghost-type trainer, Marshall, who uses Fighting-type Pokemon in battle, the aforementioned Grimsley, who uses Dark-type Pokemon, Caitlin, a Psychic-type trainer, and the existential champion Elder, who, like Cynthia before him, chooses to harness the power of a variety of Pokemon types. Analyzing now why this may have been one of my least favorite groups of Elite Four members, it very well could be due to the fact that these games themselves had one of the deepest and most complex and compelling storylines of any of the Pokemon games, which ultimately I believe may have overshadowed some of the Elite Four members to me when I was playing the games. Now to the Kalos League, which presented us a bit of a thematic Elite Four revolving around the grandiose history and modern culture of the region. Each of its members seemed to represent a core component of this region's identity, and as such genuinely captivated my inner love and passion for history and anthropology. I can't really say that these trainers were all too difficult to challenge in battle, though doing so was still immensely enjoyable due to the immersive experience we were given in these characters' themes and especially their battle stages. This league includes Malva, the Fire-type Pokemon trainer, Cybold, utilizing Water-type Pokemon, Wickstrom, the literal knight in shining armor, leading his Steel-type Pokemon into the battlefield, Drasna, yet another Dragon-type trainer whose name begins with a D, and the champion and well-renowned actress of the Kalos region, Diantha, who continues the trend of using various types of Pokemon in battle. My only real complaint about this league is their lack of involvement in the storyline, with even Diantha only playing a very minimal role, and at times seeming a little bit more interested in being famous than being the champion. Lastly, at least until November, we have the Alolan League, which is situated atop the tallest mountain in the region, Mount Lanakila. Established by Professor Kukui in an attempt to bring Alola to the main stage of Pokemon battling, this league honestly always seemed a little underwhelming to me. Not only does it reuse trial captains and island kahunas for its members, but also battling Professor Kukui in Pokemon Sun and Moon and Hau in Ultra Sun and Moon for the champions position never really felt right. Especially for Hau, who never really seems to take Pokemon battling very seriously and is seen throughout the games losing time and time again. How really would a trainer like that best some of Alola's greatest and toughest trainers? This league consists of Kahuna Hala of Melemele Island, who specializes in fighting-type Pokemon, Kahuna Olivia of Akala Island, utilizing her rock-type Pokemon, Trial Captain Acerola of Ula Ula Island, who uses ghost-type Pokemon, personal friend of Professor Kukui and former Island Trial Champion, Kahili, who uses flying-type Pokemon, and for the champion title, like I said before, either Professor Kukui or Hau, who both use a variety of different types of Pokemon in battle. I truly hope you enjoyed this video, and please keep in mind that at the end of the day, these are just my opinions of my favorite aspects of the Pokemon Leagues, and I'm very aware they could differ greatly from your own. In fact, I greatly look forward to reading your thoughts in the comments down below. What is your favorite Pokemon League? Who is your favorite champion? What areas of the Pokemon Leagues do you wish they would improve on? Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, this is Professor Noki, signing off once again for Noki Jr.